with the generation that we're in right now, what we call the Gen Z, we should not focus on internet by using it for dancing, doing other things. However, we should be removing this script and changing the world to know who the real Africans are.
Yeah, the Africans themselves need to tell their story in their versions, in their context. You know, in history, it was always the victors who said the story, who wrote the history. The losers never had the chance. They didn't have the resources to write a history.
Yes.
Yeah. In India case, the history was written by the invaders, the Mughals, the Turks who invaded India for 700 years, and then it was followed by the British.
The British.
For 300 years or so. So the textbooks are still teaching that. When is that colonial mindset end? When will you start talking and telling your stories, your truth, not somebody else's truth?
So the world, what I believe, Africans should be starting to teach. Let them teach about the Shaka Zulus, who did best.
Exactly.
Shaka Zulu is one of the people who initiated the barracks, formation of barracks in the world. They don't teach about who our grands were. And if a person needs to generate who he is, maybe he should be beginning with his own generation to see where the next generation is going, not to begin with the people's generation and invade it into our own history.
Don't you think is also the biggest problem that we have in an education system?
Yes.
Because when you find most of the books, let's take an example, like in the history, when you go to the education in the schools, you find most of the history and the history courses that they're teaching, they will teach you, as you were saying, like talking about
Bismarck,
talking
and
about Napoleon, talking about French Revolution, instead of telling us the Africa.
Talking about the Escobars and other people like that.
They
always tell us that these people were very good, they were great, that they did a lot of things, showing that us on that basement that we should be basing on that. It's the only message that is always projected to the students. If they think that Bismarck had to separate the 54 countries in Africa and he was successful, they think that this man is a supreme god.
But there were no borders in Africa. There were no countries.
Yes.
Yeah,
the whole
borderless.
continent
It was borderless.
Yeah. The Europeans in the 1870s or something like that, they decided, okay, we've invaded Russia, we've invaded America, we've divided it. The only place now left, we've divided Asia. The only place left is now Africa. Let's sit down on the table.
The Berlin Conference.
In the Berlin, 1884.
Yeah. So they all sit down on a table and then put, divide up the whole of Africa. This is German territory, this is English territory, this is French territory, this is Portuguese territory, blah, blah, blah. They created the map, the countries, the flags, and everything. Where is the African in that?
Yeah, it has really affected Africa in a very, very big way. Still affecting it, because before the Berlin Conference, now after the Berlin Conference, I'm being called a Rwandan. And just within a 1 hour drive away from Kigali, there is a Burundian.
Yeah, there is a DRC.
There is a DRC.
Who speaks the same language with me?
You can imagine.
The same background with me. But if I go there,
and your DNA may be the same.
Same ancestors.
You're carrying the same DNA. It's like India and Pakistan. India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh were carved out from, and Afghanistan and Burma were all carved out of one India. If you look at DNA terms, we are all one.
Yeah, exactly.
Just because of religion base, they become Pakistanis and Bangladeshis and Afghanis.